All right, let's do something a little different today. We're going to jump in a time machine, set the dial for 1791, and drop into Vienna. Why? Because we're going to witness the premiere of what was, and I'm not kidding, the original blockbuster movie. Except, it was an opera.
So, let me ask you this. Do you think a show from over 200 years ago, with wigs and singing and no internet, could actually go viral? Like, really, truly blow up? Well, the crazy thing is, the Magic Flute had all the ingredients of a modern-day smash hit.
So, where do you even start with a hit this big? Well, like any epic movie or game, it all begins with the creators. And this project had an absolute dream team behind it, a legendary duo coming together for one last massive project. On one side, you've got Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. The guy was a rock star, an absolute musical genius. And then you have Emanuel Schikaneder. He was the theater pro, the showman, who knew exactly what would get an audience hyped. It's kind of like a top-tier game developer teaming up with the best dreamer in the world. One brings the genius code, the other brings the hype and knows how to put on a show.
Now, they chose a really smart format for this thing. It was called a Singspiel. All that means is that it wasn't all singing. It had spoken dialogue just like a regular play or a movie, and then it would break into these incredible songs. This was huge because it made it super easy for everybody to follow along, not just fancy opera experts.
Okay, so you've got the team, you've got the awesome format, but where did this all go down? Because the location is actually a huge part of the story. This thing didn't premiere in some stuffy royal palace. Nope. It happened at a place called the Freihaus Theater off the Wieden. And basically, this was a huge popular theater out in the suburbs of Vienna. It was outside the fancy city center, which meant this was the spot where regular, everyday people went to have a good time. And that choice of venue was a total game changer. It was a place for everyone, not just the super rich. The vibe was loud and fun. This gave them way more freedom to get a little weird and experiment. Plus, this theater was already famous for its awesome stage effects, which, as you'll see, was a pretty big deal for this show.
All right, let's picture it. It's the big night, September 30th, 1791. The theater's buzzing, the orchestra's tuning up. This is it. It's time to go live.
So, Mozart himself is actually conducting the orchestra, and you can imagine he is sweating. At the beginning, the audience is pretty quiet, maybe a little unsure what to think. But then, as the show goes on, you can feel the energy in the room start to build, and then, when that final curtain falls, bam! The place just erupts. Thunderous applause. They had a massive hit on their hands. And this isn't just speculation, you guys. We actually have proof of how hyped Mozart was. He wrote a letter to his wife right after a show, basically saying, "I just got back, and the place was totally packed, again." You can just feel the excitement and relief in his words. He knew they'd made something special.
So, what was the secret sauce? What made people lose their minds over this show? Well, let's break it down. Part 1 has to be the special effects. This was like the 18th century version of CGI, and it was mind-blowing for the time.
I mean, Schikaneder went all out. You had actors literally flying across the stage on hidden wires. Characters would just appear and disappear through trapdoors in the floor. They had machines to create their own thunder and lightning effects right there on stage. Oh, and the show opens with the main character being chased by a giant mechanical serpent. The audience had never, ever seen anything this spectacular.
But amazing visuals are only half the story, right? The other, and maybe even more important part of the secret sauce, was the music. Mozart basically created the perfect playlist with a track for every single person in that audience.
I mean, just look at this lineup. For the villain, the queen of the night, you get this absolutely insane music with unbelievably high notes. It's pure epic boss battle music. Then you have Sarastro, the wise leader, and his music is the total opposite, super low, deep, and powerful. And then there's Papageno, the goofy sidekick. He gets all the simple, catchy folk songs, the kind of tunes you can't help but whistle on your way out of the theater. This variety meant there was never a boring moment.
So let's circle back to that first question we asked. Did this thing actually go viral? Let's look at what happened next.
The answer is 1000% yes. It was an instant smash hit. Think about a movie that doesn't just open at number 1, but stays there for weeks and weeks. That was the Magic Flute. They performed it almost every single night, and the theater was completely sold out. And the legacy? It's just massive. The songs got so popular that people were literally whistling the tunes in the streets of Vienna. It became one of the most successful and most performed operas in history. It also proved that an opera sung in German could be a global hit, which was a huge deal back then.
And even today, for a lot of people, this is the very first opera they ever see. Its melodies are just timeless.
So it all comes down to this. What makes something, a story, a song, a show, stick around for centuries? The Magic Flute kind of gives us the formula. You need a fantastic story, incredible music that speaks to everyone, and a spectacle that just blows you away. It's a combo that just works. So think about it. What's your favorite movie or game? What makes that story timeless for you?